5 most common challenges faced by real estate developers here in Nigeria. So there are so many beautiful estates and structures, all across Nigeria today, and more investors are still considering diversifying their investment towards real estate development, of course, to solve the housing deficit problem and eventually make profit. But it is important for you to know that just like every other businesses, real estate developers also go through some challenges while trying to bring this beautiful estate development into reality. So while you're being motivated by how to make money, as a real estate developer, you should also be ready to face some of these challenges. Here are 5 common challenges you would come across as a real estate developer here in Nigeria. So number 1 is land disputes and regulatory hurdles, right? Conflicts over land ownership and titles are common here in Nigeria, and this could lead to legal battles and delay in project initiation, right? So there are so many land contentions here in Nigeria, and this is a major problem for we developers. And of course, just like you already know, or just for me to remind you, that the Land Use Act here in Nigeria actually gives the government, a higher hand over, we the developers, right? So if, for instance, you're developing a project and the government decides tomorrow to want to build a public facility, you have little or no say over that property. Highest you can get is a compensation from the government. I mean, take the coastal highway for instance, you understand? So that is one of the major problems. Outside of government regulations, right, we have duplicate documents. You could see somebody with the same C of O coming to contend on same land with you. So it's a major challenge. After dealing with the government, you still have the indigenes to battle with, right? You have the Omoniles to battle with, you have the Fulani, the Gbagi people to battle with, right? So it is a major concern for real estate developers. Not forgetting the complex approval process, right? A real estate developer who wants to get the necessary approvals and permits from the land office still needs to pay unofficial bills to government workers in such office. Take for instance, you want to go for your building plan approvals and all, the delays in the office would force a developer to some extent to want to pay some unofficial bills to enable his file fly so fast. Not forgetting the complex approval processes, right? As a developer, to secure necessary building permits and licenses could take a longer period of time, and this could make you want to pay some unofficial bills just for you to secure such permits and approvals. And of course, this would eventually tell on the cost of your project. Number 2 is limited access to finance. This is not new to us here in Nigeria. Smaller developers often struggle to secure funding from banks, which prefer to lend to established entities with strong track records. High interest rates on loans can make financing expensive, reducing profit margins, and also the volatility of the naira can impact the cost of imported materials and affect project budget. This is actually a major concern for real estate developers here in Nigeria, unlike the Western world, right, where they have good access to fundings at a very minimal interest rate. But here in Nigeria, it is very difficult for us to secure financing for our real estate project. So if the government can look towards this direction, it will also help real estate developers to develop more projects and of course reduce the housing deficit. So number 3 challenge is of course infrastructure deficiency, right? Here in Nigeria, we lack good infrastructure. Lack of essential infrastructure such as roads, electricity supply, and water supply can increase development costs and affect project visibility, right? Now, most of the time, real estate developers would be forced to construct, the road or some certain bridge leading or connecting to their estate project, and of course this would eventually tell on the overall cost of that plot of land or that house in that estate. For those of us who are so quick to judge a developer by the cost of his land or his house, right? I want you to know that these are also part of the reasons why that land or that property is as expensive as it is, because the road which the local government is supposed to provide is what the real estate developer is providing, and of course that would be added to the cost of his land and to the cost of his house project. The fourth challenge is economic instability. High and fluctuating cost of building materials, often worsened by import duties and supply chain disruptions, can of course strain budgets, right? And economic instability, like you already know, can affect consumer purchasing power and demand for real estate, and this would eventually lead to slower sales and lower returns. This particular point actually affects those developers who develop based on off-plan, right? So just imagine you charge your subscriber 70 million naira for a 4-bedroom duplex, right? And to be delivered within 12 months or 6 months, right? And 3 months into this project, the dollar and naira saga now come up, and then you now begin to incur so many other costs. So the fifth point is market competition. Increased competition from other developers can drive down prices and of course reduce your profit margin. You see, unfortunately here in Nigeria, there are no strict regulatory processes that qualifies you to operate as a real estate developer, right? And that is why anybody can wake up at any time to say, oh, I'm a real estate developer, right? But if there is a regulatory process that you need to go through, then I think that would have been much more better. But since there is none, you need to exempt yourself from the crowd by providing excellent service and then effective marketing and all of those stuff, right? So this is another challenge we face as real estate developers here in Nigeria. So basically guys, these are the 5 common challenges we face as real estate developers here in Nigeria. I want you to tell me down in the comment section below, if you're a developer, right, which of these challenges are you currently facing? I want to know, and of course I could provide solutions to you. Just let me know down below in the comment section, right? So addressing these challenges requires a multifaceted approach, including better regulatory frameworks, improved access to finance, invest in infrastructure and capacity building within the construction industry. So developers who can navigate these challenges effectively are better positioned to succeed in Nigeria's dynamic real estate market. So guys, I hope you found this video insightful, and if you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up, like this video, share it with your loved ones, let them know exactly what we real estate developers here in Nigeria are currently passing through before bringing about that beautiful estate project for them. And again, this is in no way trying to scare you out of the real estate business. If we can pass through all of these challenges and come out successful, then you can as well pass through these challenges and come out successful in your real estate development endeavor. All you need to do is just to align yourself with a mentor, a professional who has gone on this part of this journey before, to guide you appropriately on how you can excel in the real estate development world. And this is just to remind you that this is a full real estate investment course, and we are still going to be treating other topics after this particular one, right? As a matter of fact, we want to look at ways in which you can get started as a real estate developer here in Nigeria, not forgetting the fact that we have previous videos before this particular one. So do well to gather all of the information together for you to have an holistic view of what we are treating. Up until then guys, I want you to come alongside with me as we treat on the next topic. And we here at Ideal Homes and Estate Developers Limited are just here to guide you on your real estate development process. So do well to reach out to us today, and we'll be so glad to get you started immediately.